you guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Irish country life here on the west coast of Ireland. If you remember the last day, we divulged that we were going to show you how to make that wonderful lemon and ginger cheesecake that we all happily sat around the table and we ate every last piece. So I'm going to get started by talking to you about what ingredients go into it, and there really isn't very many. This cheesecake, as opposed to maybe one that you would buy in the shop, has a very light texture, almost a mousse-like texture, as opposed to the ones in the supermarkets or in the bakeries even tend to be quite firm with a lot of gelatin added. So you don't need to be scared, we're not using any gelatin today, and you will really enjoy this cheesecake. So our ingredients are a 300-gram packet of GINGERNUT biscuits, any variety of your choice, 2 large lemons, 80 grams of melted butter, which I just melted in the microwave, 400 grams of Philadelphia soft cream cheese, and in here we have 300 milliliters of condensed milk and 250 milliliters of double cream. The cream has not been whipped, it has just been poured into the condensed milk and stirred together to combine. The equipment we will be using is our loose bottom cheesecake tin, just like that. We will also need a grater, a juicer, a whisk, and a rolling pin, and a freezer bag. And that is it. There is no cooking on this cheesecake, it's just setting for 8 hours in the fridge. So now I will show you how to start preparing. So we're going to put our GINGERNUT biscuits into the freezer bag, and we're going to crush them. I like to do this by hand, as you'll know from my videos, and the reason being I don't like the biscuits to be very, very crumb-like. I like them to have a little bit of texture in them still when they're on the base of the cheesecake, because it's good the next day, if it lasts for the next day. It's good the next day that they're not so fine, they don't become very soggy. So literally we're just going to bash them on with our rolling pin. Turn the bag over. And again. You will have some slightly chunkier pieces in the bag, and that's fine, because it's nice to get, like I said, a little bit of texture in the cheesecake. We're literally going to pour those into our empty bowl. Okay, and if you'd like to come in and see, you can see that they're not just a fine breadcrumb, there is some slightly chunkier pieces in there, which is absolutely fine. In that, we're going to add our melted butter. We're going to stir to combine the butter and the biscuits together. And then once we've stirred and combined the butter and the biscuits together, we're going to pop them into our tin. This is a non-stick cheesecake tin, so you don't need to do anything with it. Now we have our biscuits in the tin, we will literally level them off and we will compress them into the sides of the tin. And then this will take about 20 minutes in the refrigerator just to set slightly. It doesn't need to set a lot because it will have the full 8 hours once the filling goes on top. But literally just for the butter to harden up again. So, I will pop this in the fridge and then we will make the filling. Okay, so in our bowl here I have the zest of both lemons. So we're going to use the zest of both lemons and the juice of both lemons. So I've also added in here the milk, condensed milk, and the cream. So we now have in this bowl the lemon zest and the condensed milk and the cream. To that I'm going to add in our Philadelphia cheese. And now we're going to do a little bit of mixing. And we're just going to use a little whisk. And basically, we're just going to combine the cheese and the cream and the milk to ensure that there's no big, thick lumps. And that will literally just take a minute or so just to combine. Now, I said there's no gelatin in this recipe, and I believe that what helps to thicken this is the lemon juice. And that's why I add the lemon juice at the end. And you will maybe be able to see the mixture slightly thickening when I start adding the lemon juice once it's squeezed into the cheese filling. So once you've mixed that so that there's no big lumps in there, it doesn't matter whether there's slight small lumps in there, it will all just combine and soften out together once the lemon juice is added. So we will squeeze our lemons. These are 2 large lemons. If you don't have large lemons and you only have small ones, you can use 3. So now we have our lemon juice, and we're going to just literally whisk that in slowly. And almost as you're whisking it, you can almost feel the texture of the cream getting slightly thicker. I can certainly feel it in my hand. Now, once the lemon juice has all been incorporated, we will then get our biscuit base out of the fridge, and we will just pour our filling on top of our biscuit base, and then it will need to go back into the fridge for 8 hours. So we have our base here, and we have our cream cheese filling here. So all we're going to do now is pour our filling over our base, making sure to get every last bit of that lovely gooiness out of the bowl, in on top, and spread it out so that it covers the biscuit base. Now that just looks so dreamy and delightful. And I feel terribly guilty saying that because we just ate a whole one not that long ago, and we will eat this whole one. So, once now the cream cheese filling is on top of the base, that needs to go into the fridge, and it needs to set for 8 hours in the fridge. This cheesecake has no gelatin, as I've said many times, therefore it is not very firm. You cannot decorate it with piles of fresh fruit or anything like that, because it will literally just collapse on you. So you literally want to serve your lemon cheesecake as it is, which I will show you when we go to eat it later on, or you can put a few slices of lemon, or if you fancy just some little sprinkles of chocolate. But just remember, whatever you put on the top to serve it mustn't weigh too much, because it will just help the cheesecake to slide out from the biscuit base, and you don't want that. So now, sorry about that, but you have to wait 8 hours, and it will go into the fridge and it will really firm up nicely. Thank you for watching. Join us later for tea and cheesecake. And now it's time for some of that delicious homemade lemon and ginger cheesecake. And my does it look mighty fine. Don't forget, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon. Until next time, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Is it nice, dear?
Very nice.
This is what I mean by the nuts being crunchy.
It's homemade, dear. You can't. Where'd you get something like that? You're gonna love soup. You can say anything you want to him, dear, because I'm cutting out the volume.
Piece of Daddy's cheesecake. Yeah. He's too fat anyway.
Is he?
No, you are. Good boy. Good boy. Sit down.